NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine. Today's program was furnished by a grant from the Beanery Depot and Deli, featuring coffee, made-to-order subs, and snacks. The Beanery Depot and Deli in Mahoningtown.
Welcome to the Cedar Sports Corner, everybody. I'm Alex DeLaverson, and I hope everyone here had a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. I'm personally stuffed, but I'm also thrilled as a Pitt fan. Well, speaking of turkeys, how badly did the Miami Hurricanes play just like a bunch of turkeys the day after Thanksgiving?
And here's your apple.
Yep. And you know what? Here's an interesting stat. The last 4 times an unranked Pitt team plays a top 3 team, they won 4-0. That's like they're like the official pesky team of the NCAA.
Was there somebody that called that shot?
I have to give credit to our producer, Mr. Angelo Parada here. He did go on record saying the Miami Hurricanes were not a good team. Although, I will say that Miami does have a chance to still make it to the college football playoff.
Only if somebody rocks the bus and throws bottles through the window. And
Well, that's actually a little prelude to what we're going to be discussing in one of our other segments later on, which will be sportsmanship. But the thing I'm trying to say is that all is not lost here for the Miami Hurricanes. If they still beat Clemson, winning the ACC championship, they can get into the Final Four.
if the Pope goes to Oral Roberts and then goes to Liberty University, he could become a born-again.
Well, I don't think
it's not going to happen.
I don't think it's as impossible as you're making it out to be. Last year, Clemson dropped it at home to the same Pitt Panthers team, and look what happened. They won the national championship.
Well, but Clemson's way too good for this. It ain't going to happen twice.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's possible.
So with the opportunity of Ohio State to lose to Michigan, and with the opportunity of Notre Dame to beat Stanford, and TCU to beat Oklahoma, Notre Dame could drift up there.
They very well could. And, I feel like the NCAA selection committee would really want to put Notre Dame in there for, obvious reasons, because they're Notre Dame.
Money?
Absolutely. And you know what? I kind of, at this point, I just don't want Ohio State in, because I always feel like Ohio State is one of those programs that the NCAA committee just loves. They can lose like 3 or 4 games a year, and they can find a way into the Final Four. I mean, that's a little bit of exaggeration. But the point I'm trying to make is, it'd be nice to see them out of the picture for once.
Don't worry, Alabama will play Mercer.
Well, yeah, I can't even argue that point. Now, here's the thing. When we're talking about conferences and conference champions, how much does losing a game like this really hurt your division? Because the ACC the last handful of years, has basically surpassed the SEC in terms of being the top football conference. Is this really a blow to the ACC?
No, it just tells you how tough the ACC is.
Even Pitt? Is Pitt a
Pitt. Even Pitt beat Penn State last year. Okay? Even Pitt.
Well, yeah, again, Pitt, well, you know what? They might have finally their quarterback of the future with Kenny Pickett. Their first real quarterback since 2004, Tyler Palko, led by Walt Harris. Oh, man. It goes to show you what happens when you have a real quarterback, one that could, you know, score and make plays happen.
You know what the recruiter said? Coach asked, who you picking? He said Kenny.
That's right. Man, God bless him. His first career start as a true freshman. I mean, look. And he upsets the number 2 team in the country on senior night. You know, God bless him. But,
Bye-bye.
yeah, we're going to, discuss that for another day here.
See, if they could have thrown rocks at Pitt, rocked the bus, then they're okay.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting more into that next segment in terms of which traditions are meaningful and which are overboard. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Funding provided by Four Brothers in downtown Newcastle. This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Funding provided by Main Street Clothiers and Tailors, Washington Street, Newcastle.
Show 'em that I do have my Notre Dame shirt on, even though this.
What happened the last 2 times these 2 teams played? I think Notre Dame won, probably.
And this is the week for the city game.
That is correct.
It's time to put up your dukes.
It's time to put up your dukes, all right. And I feel like that's a school, too, that always... It's a great school, great facilities. They deserve more love. You know...
It's hard to recruit when you're a city school.
Well, absolutely, especially when you're a city school and you're overshadowed by the main city school in town, Pittsburgh, so...
Robert Morris.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have all these, schools to compete against. You have a Division I FCS school, Pitt, and then you have your other schools like Robert Morris. So, but go ahead.
I just think that recruiting, I think of Pitt as still a mid-major, and that's not a slam. That's just because they have West Virginia to the south, Youngstown State to the northwest, which gets no credibility at all. Penn State to the northeast. Okay. Maryland to a lesser extent, but it's still there. And then you have a smattering of these quality little schools. Robert Morris, Duquesne, Westminster. You have a high concentration of schools right there.
I mean, I don't know if I consider Pitt a mid-major. I mean,
They're not. Well, my scale's a little adjusted down.
Look, they're definitely a program, or at least in terms of football, that's a step below, a Notre Dame, obviously, or Penn State. And, that goes back to the thing we talk about. They don't even have their own stadium. They don't have the fan base. I felt like in basketball, they really could have made a jump, but, now they've taken 3 steps back with the coach they have now.
They're back to the Eastern 8.
I know. But again, though, I thought Pitt's a basketball school because you tear down Pitt Stadium, replace it with a basketball arena. That's like their official...
A bad one at that.
I think the Pitt's a beautiful arena. But listen, I don't want to get off topic here.
Let's talk about... I'm LeBron James.
No. This is no more LeBron James. Not for...
What's wrong with the Pens?
It's just a slump. I'm not even worried about them.
They must have lost their ink. They're not writing the numbers well.
Yeah, I see what you did there. But listen, they're they're the repeat Stanley Cup champions. They're allowed to have a slump. It happens. You play 82 some games or whatever it is. I'm really Not worried about it. It happens, you know. But aren't we spoiled as, you know, fans of Pittsburgh teams? Aren't we spoiled for our hometown? The Steelers, arguably the best NFL franchise. The Pens, you know, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. The Pirates, who a few years ago were coming...
They have great fireworks shows.
Yeah, they have a great stadium and good fireworks. But they do have a good history. And a few years ago,
Great
they were...
food.
Yeah,
You can tailgate.
I know.
It's summer.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, there's not too much. We had those few years ago when they were making the playoffs, but that was really it. You know, I would say Pitt, but this isn't 2010 anymore. Ever since they haven't really been relevant for about 5 years. But in general, we just have great sports
Think
programs.
about it this way: you're not Cleveland playing the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
The score is 13-7. You have an opportunity to win. You fumble the ball. Your defense stops them. You have an opportunity to win. You throw an interception. You force them to punt. You have an opportunity to win. You throw an interception. They score a touchdown. You lose 19-7.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the Browns for you. At least they have, though, LeBron James. They have them. He brought him. He brought him a title. They let them have that. Just let them have it. Okay, they're allowed to have something. They want a NBA champ. LeBron won him an NBA championship. Let them have him. I'm a Cavs fan.
He gave them a championship.
Yeah. So and he's theirs.
Because that
He's an Akron
little
boy.
present came dancing in. The officials said, "Let's help them out."
Yeah, that's just a giant conspiracy.
They
Yeah.
didn't call any fouls until the end of the game. They called them all in Golden State. That's like, you know what? That's like the New England Patriots who get the calls all the time.
Oh
I
boy.
guess we got to get going.
We'll talk about this later on, maybe a little bit next segment, but now a word from our sponsors.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Welcome back to our last and final segment here at the Cedars Sports Corner, everybody. What a fun first two segments that was. But for this segment, I think we're going to have even more fun. We're going to talk some NFL Hall of Fame voting action going on here. The Hall of Fame has given off their list for the semifinalists for the class of 2018. Now, most of you already know who's eligible. The most notable names: Ray Lewis, Terrell.
That should be Hall of Shame. Most classless player in Baltimore. Okay.
I'm not going to argue. Ray Lewis, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss,
Terrell Owens,
Ty Law.
Geez. Give me 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. There are 9 chances to win the Super Bowl.
Alan Faneca. How do you feel about him? I'm like, if you have to think about it, I usually don't put him in.
You know?
Now, but here's my thing. See, people are calling in trying to tell me that I'm wrong. This is going to get a little heated here. It's going to get very heated here. But the players that I think who should be in the Hall of Fame are, in fact, Ray Lewis, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss. Not so big on Torrey Holt, Edgerrin James, or Ty Law. Faneca, I'm a Steeler fan, but still. But here's why I
You know
think.
who should be in the Hall of Fame?
Who?
The guy with the most votes.
The guy with the most what?
Votes.
Votes. Well, you know what? Here's the deal.
Alan Faneca deserves the most votes.
You think Hines Ward is a Hall of Famer?
Hines Ward should be a Hall of Famer.
Well, okay, now, genuine question. Why Hines Ward compared to Randy Moss? Why him over Moss?
Did Hines Ward play in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Did Hines Ward win?
Yes.
Oh, man. Randy, he tied his shoes the other day.
He was. Well, Moss did play in 2 Super Bowls. Moss is second. Listen. Stop. Let me finish. Moss is second all time in receiving touchdowns. Okay? Right below Jerry Rice. He set the record in 2007, surpassing Jerry Rice for 23 touchdowns in a season. Rookie of the year, 1998.
The guy told him,
What?
don't let any moss grow under your feet. Get out of here.
Well, you know what? Do you think character issues are going to keep them out? Both Moss and Owens?
We need character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree with Donald Trump. I would have fired the guy that was kneeling last week for the Giants. It would have been, you're gone. And Goodell needs to be gone.
So you think they won't vote Owens and Moss in? Do you think they'll ever get in? It'd be hard to keep them out.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Well, listen, change their name. Change their names to John Smith and Tim Martin. With their resumes alone, they get in.
Not with what they did.
Well, I know, but I'm saying you're not supposed to take that into consideration at the Hall of
You've
Fame.
got to take it in. The Hall should be filled with people that are deserving because of their on and off the field characteristics.
I know, but it's supposed to be about their on-field. Now, here's the thing with Moss, why I'd put him in over Owens. The cover 2, Angelo, was created to stop Randy Moss, literally. Do you hear that I said? It was created to stop Randy Moss. Think about that. A defensive formation was created to stop one player.
The cover 2 made it more comfortable when you got in bed. You had a sheet on the bottom and a sheet on the
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Lord. I think you have a lot of emotion when it comes to your voting process, your opinions.
You know, it's just
I-
class. You're
But I will agree Hines Ward does belong in. 1,000 career receptions. Super Bowl MVP. So, yeah, he can go. And I'm fine with both Ward, Owens, and Moss going in. Faneca, you know, it could go either way. Usually, like I said, if I have to think about it, I'm usually a no. But I guess I wouldn't be upset. Edgerrin James, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Ray Lewis, you have to put him in there. 2 Super Bowls.
no.
No. Then what would he have to do?
Go and serve his time.
Oh boy. All right. Well, this is. You ever notice at the pinnacle of our arguments, it's always the same things. I go by like stats and numbers. You're going by like character.
It's the only way to fly.
Only way to fly. I think you could have both. That's just my opinion. But anyway,
That's called Notre Dame.
no. Yes, the most character, classy school. You know what? I like Notre Dame. They're one of my favorite teams.
You want my shirt?
I don't like them that much to wear your shirt. But, anyway, that wraps up our show for today. Again, I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you all were entertained. And any last words, Angelo?
Let's go Irish.
Let's go Irish. All right, well, that's it, everybody. I hope you all have a good one.
Funding provided by Four Brothers in downtown Newcastle. A special thanks to the YMCA for caring about the Lawrence County community and providing funding for this program.